Good afternoon or morning or evening, depending on where you are. And welcome to Apex Instant Tips episode number 138. We're your hosts, Anton.
And Marwa.
Welcome, Marwa. Glad to have you here again today. Um, as the title of this tip alluded to, we're going to talk a little bit about making sense of the help that's associated with the pop-up LOV initialization JavaScript code. That's a mouthful. But maybe the easiest thing, Marwa, is for you to start by showing us what you've actually accomplished with a pop-up LOV, and then we'll talk about how you got there. So we'll share your screen, and I'll kick off
Yes.
my timer. You don't have a timer on yours, but I did just kick it off. We got 5 minutes. It'll beep when you get going. So what do we have? What makes this
Okay, so
LOV special?
here we have an LOV. It's company's names. And what's special about this LOV is that the first column, which is the company name, is a clickable column. If I click on it, I will get to the Amazon website. And actually, I do have one for Anton website, which is great. And the
Eventually.
second column is colored based on the status. Is it closed? Is it in progress? Red and green, and we can even add more colors. And the third column would open the Outlook to let us send an email for the salesperson. So
Great. So this
this is
clearly,
kind of a special LOV.
yeah, so this is clearly not something we can do declaratively. You had to write a little bit of code for this. So let's take a look
Yes.
at the LOV. Tell me what you did to make this work.
Yes, it's not done declaratively, but first let me show you the query of this LOV. So I'm in the shared component of the application, and this is the LOV. I've named it LOV with links. And as you can notice, in the query, I selected some columns that are not visible, that are hidden. And these columns are the URL, and then the email, and then the states modifier, which is a hidden column also. Let's check here.
So those are hidden. Okay, they're not visible. Great.
This one and this one. Yes.
Great.
Okay, let's take a look at the page designer to show you the JavaScript code of the LOV. So here I played with the attributes of the columns in order to apply the states modifier to the status column, and then add the link to the column and add other attributes also.
Right. So I see this is great. This is it doesn't actually look that hard. It's not declarative, but it's pretty easy. The challenge is when it's not declarative to even know how did you get cell CSS classes column, link target column, how did you know what those things should be?
Yes. So let's take a look at the help section for this JavaScript code. It would help us a lot. So mainly here it describes three types of widgets. The first one is the dialog widgets, and here are the attributes that we can change: draggable, resizable, width, etc. Most of these could be done declaratively.
So you're not likely to use the dialog widget. You could, but you could do it declaratively. So why would you? Okay.
Exactly. The second one is the table modal view, and the one that I used is actually the grid widget, which has the columns options. So
Great.
if
So
we go to, yeah,
how do you know what you can do within there?
I go to apexoracle.com JS API and I check for the grid widgets
So we'll put that
right
URL
here.
up on the screen so folks can know about it. And then you said you went to the grid widget. Okay.
I went to the grid widgets and then to the columns options. And actually, this is the one that I use. This is the property. It's the name of the column that contains CSS classes to use for the cell.
Okay. And so go back to the screen, to the code itself. Tell me the format of how you use these column elements. And we'll try to get that URL on the screen here in a second as well for the JS API.
Yes, so I've used the link target column and link attributes options.
Okay, so what you have is options.columns.sales status. So the sales status, that's the actual alias of the column, right? So
Exactly.
in your query, it's got sales status, and it's going to be uppercase unless you put double quotes around it. So okay, great. And then let's go back to that JS API again. Whoa, I'm getting dizzy.
Yes,
Um,
there it is.
okay, so great. So if I wanted other things, I can just look in here. For example, I mentioned the width of the column. Is there a way to where would I find the width?
Sure, right here.
Oh, right there.
There's it.
Excellent. I can just set that. So it seems to me this is the place to go. If you have any questions about it, the grid is where you're going to get most of your options.
Right.
Excellent. Well, I love this tip. Why don't we show one more time the actual JavaScript code so folks can see it?
Yes, right here.
That's it. That is our 5 minutes. I think this is a great tip. I'm going to use this a lot because I think those the pop-up LOV in recent versions of Apex is great, but I think these are really nice features.
Yes, sometimes we need some detailed information, so we can even add a button on or link one of the columns to a detailed page to show more information about that record.
Yeah, I think I did see I was looking at this once before, and I saw that you can actually add buttons into the actual dialogue. So, for example, if you didn't see something in the list that you wanted, there could be a button that would take you to your Apex page. Um,
That's right.
Yours took us outside of the application, but you could do the same thing to take you to pages within the application directly from there.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Well, that was 5 minutes. If people came in just for 5 minutes, they can do all the things, write a letter to your mom, tell them about the show. And Marwa, that's pretty much all I have. I'm going to mention two other things to folks today. The first is Monday here in the US, well, in a narrow band across the US, we have a solar eclipse that's going to be coming along. I recommend people, if you have a chance, book a meeting. You can book it with me. I won't be available, but you can put it on your calendar so that you can go see the eclipse.
Right. Fantastic.
Yeah, and you can just, like I said, you can book it with me, and I'll be at the eclipse, so it'll be legit. Or at least I'll be outside looking for it. The other thing I'll just mention, Marwa, today here in Boston, just an hour or so ago, I felt an earthquake.
Oh, is everything okay, first of all? Is it true?
Yeah, it happened far away in New Jersey, but it's pretty weird in the Boston area to feel an earthquake.
Yes, it lasted for how many minutes or seconds? It was.
I think from the very start to the end was maybe 15 seconds, with maybe 3 or 4 times that I felt like a little crazy. Not crazy. I mean, it was very minor, but I was like, this is an earthquake.
You notice it? Do you notice things moving on your
Yeah.
desk?
The mic that I have right here
Oh,
and my monitor was doing this.
if it lasts long, I would recommend you to run out of the house, maybe.
I would think, I don't know, right? I don't even know what to do in an earthquake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We know those advices and tips, but when it happens, we never react because we are not used to those.
What I should have done is prepared an off-topic tip on what to do when you feel an earthquake.
Yes.
Maybe I'll do that next week. I'll do a little research, and I'll let people know next week what to do when you feel an earthquake. So
I'm glad that it was not strong or.
yeah, no, it was just a little disconcerting. Great. Well, I think that does it for today. We've got a couple of comments going through here, yeah, you could certainly do a complete shipping address, but as you could just concat a few columns in to do that. But you could do that right in the SQL query. I think the thing about these JavaScript elements are things that you can't do declaratively or right in the SQL query. And there's a whole host of things: adding links, changing the width, changing the styling of things. I would definitely go through that JS API for grid column options. and see what's there. You can get creative. I'm interesting to hear what people might come up with. Well, Marwa, that's totally. We're like 10 minutes in. I'm sure people have got better things to do with their lunchtime. In fact, for you, your dinner time. So
Yes, but it's always a pleasure.
thanks so much, and we will hopefully see folks next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Anton. Thank you all. Bye.